Hello, YouTubers. It's Travis, and we're back for some more Magic content. I have for you the finals of our Ante League. Now, there's a bit of a warning here because when we were getting everything started, my stream had a hiccup. I lost connection. I didn't have a video source. So I think the first match and a half we missed. So we're going to join the event in progress, but you will get to see the full second round. That'll be the semis and the finals. And there's some good Magic here that you don't want to miss. If you like what you're seeing here, please do check out the stream. It's at twitch.tv/Semulin. And with all of that, if you haven't watched the previous Anti-League videos, you probably want to go watch those first so you'll know what's at stake and what these folks are playing for. All right, enjoy the games, and please do let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this content, because if enough people enjoyed it, we can do it again. All right, thank you so much. Enjoy. We are now joining the Anti-League tournament in progress after some technical difficulties. It may or may not be better without my camera working, but things are certainly not going better for Trannel here as he is getting attacked by some sort of swarm of scutes. And I don't think it matters how you arm these Cathars. Looks like they're not going to be able to get through. This is fortunately the first round of Neek and Trannel in the finals here. So Trannel's going to decide to dig a little deeper. Mountain's certainly not what he's looking for. The winner of this game not only takes a card from their opponent, they progress in the Eternals, which is single elimination. He can get a decent amount of damage through this turn. He just can't really win the game with it, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's one shy. No, he's not one shy. Holy crap, never mind. Trannel's way better at Magic than I am. That was impressive. I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. Yeah, I forgot about the Waltzer trigger. I was like, he's one short. I don't know how he pulls this off. Trannel's got a great deck here. Up for ante from him is the Enthusiastic Study. If he beats Neek, he gets to take a Plains, which I don't know that he would use, but it's possible. I was sure Neek had that. That was insane. All right, see y'all chatting a little bit, which I can respect. So really no idea about why my webcam isn't working, but we can try to sort that out later. Timber's making some sideboard decisions here. Obviously, we don't want to cut Arm the Cathars. That's what won us the game. I think he's got a good shot here. We're going to take out a Reaper, and we're cutting it to play what? Got a couple active treasons. Nah, just bring it back in. All right. Neek is likely going to be on the play here with his Abzan deck, and we'll see what he can do against Trannel. Trannel's got a decent start. I'd keep this. Like, easily keep this. Land for each of the players. We've got an invitation likely to come down here from Trannel. Draw another card. Get a little deeper. There's a red dragon, which I believe he took from the Mana Leak earlier on. Missed land drop from Neek. Yeah, if he misses another one, the Waltzer is just going to waltz right over this game. Many people have your cards, John. All right, so we've got probably Walser this turn. We had to discard a card. It's a regrowth. Like, we can cast it from the graveyard. It's value. Yeah, Nick is kind of getting savaged here. Okay, we at least got a Broken Wings off. This is a start. Dual Craft Trainer for Trannel. We've seen this card be very good for him. Neek desperately looking to find the path. He's going to go in the dungeon, presumably find himself a scry. But he may have found a little bit more in this dungeon than he expected, and that there was a red dragon. Chonk. Yeah, that's not going to do it. We've got lethal basically on board. Like, how would you like to kill him? If we did the Pillar Drop Rescuer, there, he's just dead, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Game over, man. All right, Trannel advances and wins a Plains from Neek, which he may need going forward. Let's get set up for round 2. So our full bracket was the Mist and Nobody had buys. Mac and the Mana Leak needed to play. Neek and Trannel needed to play. We just saw the match between Neek and Trannel. Trannel walks away victorious. Mac won his match. So we'll see the Mac versus the Mist and Nobody versus Trannel coming up here shortly. So on deck next is going to be Big Mac. He has Cleric class up for grabs, and we were playing a Bant deck. We've seen him play a couple times. He's going to be going against the Mist, who has that nasty Sultai deck we've seen a couple times, and he has the Turn Timber aesthetic up for grabs. These have always been good games when we watch these two players play, so I'm excited to watch this match. All right, the match is about to start between Big Mac and the Mist. In our semifinals match. In the other bracket, Nobody and Trannel are playing off. Yeah, if any of my mods are bored enough to want to set it up, they're welcome to. One of these days, I'll be a big enough streamer to have a paid mod team, and we'll do stuff like that on the regular. Hey, look! One of my mods set it up. Maybe Orcish can finish it off. All right, here we go. Mac is on the play. He's got Cleric into Unicorn, which is not quite the order you want to play them in. And you can see that he's brought in some blue cards for this matchup instead of the red we saw previously. Presumably we want to skip our 2-drop and then play the Unicorn. It's kind of weird though, right? But the green and white was the basis for his deck. This one we remember before having seen the Cleric's class. Oh, that Heirloom's nice. I probably still go Unicorn here if it's me to put the power on the board. And then if we draw a land next turn, we could go Heirloom into the Cleric. But I can appreciate wanting to have your mana developed. Looks like the Mist is doing the same thing and playing a Wolf. And here's where I liked it a little bit better the other way. Like, we'd have the same board. We could just be attacking with the Unicorn. But that's only if we draw the land. Good bit of card draw on this Ingenious Mastery, so that could turn into something. We're not particularly scared of the Snarling Wolf here. But again, Mist deck is terrifying. It's difficult to say what he could have in hand. Basically a bunch of card draw. All right, we've got a Fangblade, Death Touch blocker. We've got a, now here's some tech. There's a Mirror Lake on the other side. That's what the Mist has been using to smack people out of the game, and now all of a sudden Big Mac has access to it. So we may be copying our own stuff here. Curious what sort of decisions the Mist is making. I know their delay is slightly off, so I can't quite switch to the other side. We could potentially activate the Hive Tyrant. We could swing with the Fangblade. We could just play out a 3/3 and draw a card. That seems pretty good. God, Packmate was so good. We've got the Smite the Monstrous, but nothing to hit. So Ingenious Mastery could draw, when we're ready right now, up to 3 cards, right? I believe that is the Big Mac's chat from his stream. Now, Mirror Lake can copy something, but if I remember correctly, it can only copy your stuff. Yeah, it's a creature you control, so we can't make our own Packmate. We could make another Unicorn. There's an Icehide Troll. Notably, the Mist has the snow-covered mana necessary to do things with it, but they've tapped out right now, and Mac has recognized that is our opportunity to kill it. Let's make it dead. I agree with that call. That card could be a real problem for us as the game continues. Fairly free attack here for the Mist, but there's probably something to double blocking it. I think I would double block it with the Cleric and the Wolf here. Yeah, that's actively a good trade for us. The only reason to do it is, like, there's a couple combat tricks that could be in the Mist deck where, like, you know, instead of dying, target creature comes back to the battlefield. That would be kind of nice with the Packmate to draw another card. So maybe he's got something like that. Since he stopped the attack, I would guess not. All right, got plenty of mana over there for the Mist, so whatever he's been sitting on in hand, now's the time to do it. I think Mac is actually favored here. Because unless something monstrous comes down, he's going to be able to, you know, untap and draw a ton of cards. No more Icehide Troll for you. Yeah, another land. Let's draw some cards, man. I can't think of a reason not to fire it off. Just draw 4. Getting to a board stall at 20 life and then just drawing 4 cards off the top is pretty insane. I'm not usually an advocate of countering card draw, but if Mist has any way to interact with that, he absolutely should. And these are not bad draws. It's more forces for the ground, as well as a guiding voice, which I think nets a flyer. Now, we were able to flip the werewolf on the other side, so if Mist has something to do with a ton of mana, he's got access to that, and he now has double blue if that was holding him back at all. Buckle in, this is going to be a long game. Good old grindy Magic. Sawblade doesn't actually blow up the ring, does it? Is that indestructible, or am I remembering that incorrectly? I can't quite remember. I guess it doesn't super matter because we're probably playing the 4-3 anyway. Okay, it's not indestructible. It can be destructed. Well then, get wrecked. I guess I'm remembering Dark Steel Ingot. You guys are right, this game is hard to follow without an overlay. Well then, heck yeah, Sawblade Slinger even better. It's pretty clear now that there's not much interaction on the other side, so we could Guiding Voice here. I'm guessing it can't get a flyer, I might have already done it, but we are starting to get a pretty big board state. There should be some attacks now. Or at least very soon. There was another 3-mana rock. Skycleave Relic. Okay, that's what I'm remembering. Fair enough. We did flip the Weaver back. That's relevant. I do feel like Mac needs to start trying to capitalize on his board advantage here. And I don't remember what he can get with a Guiding Voice. It may have been Trannel that I saw get the 2-1 flyer with it. Getting a Silencer for the Mist. Functionally shrinking the Shield Mate. Canopy Baloth's pretty big. What do we put the counter on? I might just attack with all of the 4-3 variants, let some stuff trade off, and then use the counter to make something else a threat on a future turn. It still kind of depends on what he can get with it. I sort of understand why he's not attacking, and I think I can explain through it. He's anticipating winning with Glorious Sunrise, because one of the modes on Glorious Sunrise is to draw cards, one of them is to gain life, the other one is to give your creatures trample. So I think he's imagining that as long as the board is stable and at a board stall, he doesn't need to trade off resources. He can just wait until he top decks that and then eventually win. And I don't hate that idea, because I'm sitting here evaluating the board state, not really thinking about that card in particular. There's a few things he'll need to interact with. That's probably one of them. The Mist is in a position where he can try to kill a green creature and then recast it, which would kind of be a problem. I mean, if it's me, I'm going to smite the Necromancer and then block it with something relatively inconsequential. Probably the Knoll Hunter at this point, maybe the Sporeback Wolf. Yeah, the Knoll Hunter could get better on offense. The Sporeback Wolf really isn't. So this is a chance for us basically to kind of get rid of some of the Mist defense. So Mist is kind of fishing for card advantage here. Yeah, it's a fine trade. These creatures are lower power. I can get behind this. But Mist is fishing for card advantage. And Mac is just getting more and more board presence. And he popped the Mirror Lake. I'm not entirely sure if that needs double blue plus itself to pop. So he may be a ways off from being able to pull that off. And I'm starting to suspect that there's not something great he can get with this Guiding Voice, or he might have done it. But okay, he's ready to swing now. And this is a mighty attack. It is worth noting that there's a 3/3 creature land back there for the Mist, so he's certainly got enough blockers. I could see some sort of double block involving the Baloth being a thing that we're going to do here. I'd probably be more interested in trading off the Snarling Wolf early, if I could, because of the mana activation for it. I kind of don't understand why the Silencer's jumping in front of here, unless he has actually been sitting on like a Feigned Death style effect the whole time. Which if he has, the Mist wins a pumpkin. That was an excellent play. And so do I, because I sort of thought he had it earlier. But yeah, these look like just taking the decent blocks you can take. And they're good blocks. You can kill one. Probably the Weaver is the right choice. Because it can be a 3/4 without much effort. Yeah, it's harder to determine what they have when we don't know the other side, but it is worth noting he can't activate the creature land and pump the wolf. So I suspect he's pumping the wolf here. Right, like he could do one or the other and it makes more sense to trade off the wolf. This is taking 10, which is fine for now, but not a feasible long-term game plan. And Mac's still going to have creatures. He's got something else. No? Okay. Yeah, the sports state looks overwhelmingly positive for Mac. Okay, that's only a single blue to use. He can use it now. He can make another Baloth. I kind of like that plan. Okay, that's what the Mist has been sitting on. Unglued, thank you for the resub. And we'll see what Mac can get with this. It's an expanded anatomy. Okay. Exclamation point Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I don't think he could. But I could be wrong. Yeah, it's 4 to activate, so I don't think he could have activated it. He's very patient with that removal spell and got very much rewarded. He's still kind of far behind right now. But, I mean, it's hard not to be when your opponent is just like, I'll casually draw 4 cards. I believe that this card was not in Mac's original pool. I believe that he beat the mana leak and took it from him. And is now using it to draw 2 cards a turn after already just drawing 4. I would use the anatomy now. I don't see any reason at all not to. You were seeing it. That is Mac's chat on his Twitch stream. There is no losers bracket. Single elim today. Are you out, nobody? Did Tranel get you? Oh my God. The patience. Thank you so much for playing, nobody. It looks like we'll be seeing Tranel in the finals. And we'll see who he'll be playing in just a minute. Mac is still drawing 2 cards a turn. The Pestilent Wolf, not a bad draw, given that we're going to need to drop that Herd Gorger. Activating the Heirloom. I probably would have waited and done that later, because we don't know what we're going to draw for the curse, but it's not a big deal. The Mist has managed to get himself right back in this with some well-timed removal spells and some tight play. Somebody was talking earlier today about using your life total as a resource, and we're kind of getting a clinic on that from the Mist here. Still no real attacks. Slow grinding advantage for the Mist. He likes what he's got. The Werewolf is flipped. Still more cards for Mac. We've got a Weaver. It's the Turnt Timber Aesthetic. That is his card up for Ante in this match, which I think Mac would put right in his deck if he got it. These are two heavy hitters, and they can probably start swinging soon. Man, how this board has changed. Noticing that we kind of forgot to activate that, which is, like I said, ideally we would have, but it's not a big deal. I too would be really surprised if my opponent 2-for-1'd me and then immediately 2-for-1'd me again. It's okay to have one land in hand to bluff something, but when you're drawing this many cards, you probably do still need to play out the rest of them. We've still got enough to do another Scribe because of the Werewolf. And the Mist is grinding. And Mac's just drawing cards. He's up, what, 6 cards now? There's the Glorious Sunrise, but the board state he had that was going to win the game when he drew it's just disappeared. And the Mist just continues to slam haymaker after haymaker. Here's a Diregraph Horde. My goodness. Mac can't even draw cards off of this Glorious Sunrise. He can just gain some life. I guess he doesn't need to draw cards when he's already drawing 2 a turn, but he's going to need to get into some more action. This is Magic. This is my style of Magic. Games that take a little longer. A few more decisions to be made. That's another land. Like, the scrying is certainly welcome. But I'm beginning to get curious about how many cards Mac has. He's got 10 to the Mist 17. So he's drawn 7 more cards over the course of the game. But I don't know that they've done anything for him at this point. You need a creature with power 4 or greater. No, you need 3 or greater. Okay, he can draw off of Sunrise. I thought it was 4 or greater. Thank you for catching that. I don't know why we're not playing that. For some reason, I was sure it was 4, but I guess it's not. Yeah, like, I can appreciate wanting to leave up Death Touch for the Pestilent Wolf, but I don't think you're worried about that at 22. Yeah, it's 4 on all the Garrick enchantments, so I don't blame myself for missing it. There's so many things that are like 4. Another Scry for the Mist. Another card for Mac. He's going to need cards that do something. Not more of these lands. The Mist has found himself a Shady Traveler. Yeah, I'm not sure how Mac wins from here. The board has gotten gummed up again, but in a bad way. Living Tempest could be a way to get through. He's got enough turns. And it's possible that Mist will get complacent and think he's going to win by decking. He can also stop drawing cards with Curse of Surveillance. It's a May. Like, when he's ready, he can stop. which I suspect he knows. $15-5. I think the Tempest can win in time. He's just got to stop drawing cards. Which is a difficult thing to do, I know. How do you ever stop drawing cards? But if it's going to lose you the game, you stop. All right, Living Tempest comes out. And this is currently our plan to win the game. Unless the Mist has literally top decked another removal spell, which he might have. Yeah, we can chonk for 4 points a turn with this. That'll get him in time as long as we stop drawing cards. I don't see a whole lot of reason to do this, but because like our problem now would be, what if they play a flying blocker or a reach blocker? I don't know that the Mist has one, but I don't think we're going to lose to damage at that point. Yeah, he knows how to do it. He's submitting 0. So now the question is, can the Mist find a way to interact with this Tempest? If he can, and all he really needs to do is like bounce it or even chump it for a turn, which is I think why I liked the Imprisonment staying in hand. But I can also appreciate that like the other way he could beat it is just by starting to turn things sideways and crossing his fingers that he's got enough damage to kill Mac. Because we need basically 3 more connects with this Tempest, right? It's funny how different these games have been, where we had a very aggro sealed deck, and then these two that are both looking to be pretty grindy. We've not disconnected here, folks. We've got the Mist really thinking about whether or not he wants this card. I don't think he does, but he might, given that Batter Shield Warrior. Because it is worth remembering that the 2/2 zombie tokens can't block. So I haven't done the math yet. He very well may have. Death Touch and Trample are also an interesting interaction. He can definitely get 2 points through with the Pestilent Wolf. He could have exiled that in response. But I guess that just makes him get rid of a zombie token, which doesn't super matter. Dualcraft Trainer will close this out pretty quickly. That's 8 damage this turn. This is lethal. If Mike sequences this right, he just wins. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say he only has to attack with 2 of them, but this certainly works too. That's just lethal in the air. What a game. Close one too, we only got him to -21. That was intense. All right, I'm going to switch over to the Mist for the next one, because I think it's fun to watch it from the perspective of both players. So here's Mist going into sideboard, and we can see a little bit more of his deck and what he's working with. The blue is for a Quandrix Campus, Elite Yara Mirror Lake, and a Bergstrider. He does have the snow-covered mana to use with his Necromancer, Bergstrider, and Replicating Ring, and Eyeside Troll, which is pretty cool, I think. And he's got some big stuff. We've seen him do good work with his removal and ration that very carefully. We've also seen Drana's Silencer do a lot of work. And then just the big green dumb monsters. That was game 1, boys and girls. Buckle up. There's a lot of Magic to be played here today. It looks like we're considering going into red. And there's some good red cards here. I don't love the Snarling Wolf in this list, but that's the only card I don't like. I might have played the Quandrix Pledge Mage over it, but I know a lot of people do like that card, and I don't. So what do you guys think of Snarling Wolf? Premium green common? Playable green common? Garbage green common? He does have some really good red cards here with the Fish or Wizard and Cathartic Pyre. I don't think he has time to switch into red, though. He's only got another 50 seconds. I've liked Snarling Wolf and Sealed. That's fair. I haven't played any Sealed with either of the last two formats. The web is interesting in that it's a combat trick he could use to interact with a flyer, which is what killed him. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually played one. Have it as playable. I'd probably want the Pledge Mage over it. That's a fair take, too. Both things can be true. All right, let's get in here for game 2. The Mist needs to win this one if he wants to stay live. Electing not to play the Swamp first and show the Lash of Malice. I suppose it doesn't super matter, but this hand, you can tell where this is going. We're going on a field trip to Giant Country. Don't need to wait. Just kill that Knoll immediately because we plan to use all of our mana this turn. Inkling summonings. That's nice. Yeah, one of these things is not like the other. Mist is slamming down a 5/4, whereas Mac has a 2/2. He could block it. All right, options in here include but are not limited to swinging and seeing if we can get the double block, which I think is what we want. I also don't think Mac will take that. If it works, we're probably just slamming the Giant. Like, these are the big dumb green things we're planning to win this tournament with. Let's get them in play as fast as possible and capitalize on the ramp. I like these lines a lot. Never change Twitch chat. You guys are great. I think if Mist can get Mac to the point where he has to double block, he can win. So I presume that's his goal from here, is to try to cheese Mac into getting a double block. The sun has risen and it is glorious. I still think we're swinging with the Infernal Grasp, though, right? No, it gets a little more awkward, doesn't it? Because they're not going to block the 7/6. So the question is, do you Infernal Grasp the 4/3 and swing? Do you play the Packmate? Do you swing with the 7/6 or do you swing team? There's a lot of decisions to be made here. I think I like that too, is maybe just grasp it and swing. I think if I was going to make this move, I might have played the Packmate first. I don't know why we wouldn't play the Packmate here. I'm confused. But okay, so I got confused earlier about drawing the card. There is no card unless he has a big creature. Okay, so that's what we're thinking. We want to kill the thing. We want to let the trigger go on the stack and then kill it. That makes sense. That makes sense. I guess a lot of my decision trees start with if I can draw a card, do that first, and then make the other decisions. But I think the Mist started with, under no circumstances will I not have Infernal Grasp up. Knowing that, how does this turn play out? Mike is elected to ramp with it and go for Curse of Surveillance. Huh. Does that mean we just grasp the wolf and try to kill him? I think it might. Because you're not stopping card draw. But you can certainly attack for 7, 8, 9 here, play 2 creatures and see if you got it. I do like drawing the card pre-combat. This is smart. Yeah, the Mist is really good at Magic. He's doing really well here. And said he might be streaming some more. So if you guys are looking for a Magic streamer to follow, go check him out. It's the Mist 22. It's the Mist 145 is his channel. Mike's got a lot to deal with here. This looks like we're going to be going to a game 3. Yeah, we are. All right, I'll switch back over to Mike's perspective for the last one. He's getting rid of the blue. And I think bringing back the red would be my guess. So less card draw, more interaction. Well, actually, Falcon Wrath Aristocrats is a hell of a lot of card draw. But that's a neat little pivot. We can go right back into the Naya build that we've seen him play for most of the tournament. I think he was correct to switch to the card draw. Like, he had one good card draw spell already. He took that Curse of Surveillance from the Mana League. I think those were good decisions, and it would be interesting. I'm interested to see if he'll be rewarded for them or not. What do you guys think? Was it correct to go back to the red? If he's going to do it, he needs to do it when he's going on the play. I think the red's better on the play. I think I might be with you there, Goose. Mist is taking his time sideboarding, and I don't blame him. There's 5,000 gems up for grabs here. All right, we're obviously going to go on the play here. Nothing to think about. That's a keeper, but it's rough. That said, he's still about 70% to hit his third land drop and get to at least play the Weaver and begin to develop from there. So, like, I stand by the keep. This is a good keep. Never didn't have it. What about your cat? Looks like the Mist is deciding how he'd like to kill this. Also, what's the red mana for? The Mist wasn't playing red before. He's done it. He's completely sideboarded into a different deck. I have no idea what he's doing over there. Nice. I'm glad your cat was trying to communicate with us. Get your damage in. I like it. So it looks like both players had a transformational sideboard and we're ready to play. I wonder what Mist cut and what advantage he's getting out of this. He's getting a lot more interaction, like presumably he brought in that Cathartic Pyre at the very least. We've seen the Elderfang Disciple be very good for him. I don't think it's going to be that great here, as I don't think Mac cares that much about discarding the land. It could come up later, though. He has some big mana plays. Pretty easy swing with the Trainer. We could, in theory, swing with the Weaver, too. I don't really see a compelling reason not to. I guess there's 2 mana up. You don't exactly know what that is. I guess you worry about spewing off the Duel for Dominance if they block. Like, it means they obviously have something. But if they have something here like a combat trick, that's fantastic for Mac. He can just use the Duel for Dominance and get a 2-for-1. So you can find card advantage with raw card draw, but as the Mist showed us in Game 1, you can also find card advantage with very well-timed removal. Now, one side effect of taking your time to go through those plays is that the Mist is now down to 9 minutes of game time. He's going to need to pick up his pace of play. Looks like he may also need to top deck a land, or this one could just be over. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't swap into a straight black-red deck. He might have, though. It's hard to imagine 4 mana and nothing to play, but he's going to need to decide it quickly. And Mac's kind of got answers in hand for the next 2 things that come out, right? Like if it's small, we'll duel it. If it's large, we'll smite it. It is worth remembering that Duel for Dominance is a fight spell, not a punch spell. So your creature does need to be larger. But Mist is being so careful to leave up 2 mana. I feel like he certainly has a 2 mana removal spell. Imprisonment the draw for Mac. I don't know that there's anything I'd like to imprison here. I feel like I'd be pretty happy just attacking and letting my werewolf flip. He's thinking about it though, which is fair. I don't want to get into a situation where I'm trying to use Duel for Dominance in combat against the Mist. He's shown to be 2 kg and careful with his removal. Like I don't want to do that. He's holding up 2 mana because he has something. Yeah, this makes me incredibly nervous. I do not like this. Our Weaver is going to die. Now, it's possible that Mac understands that and is capitalizing on the fact that the Mist doesn't have much mana in play, right? So if you want to use the removal spell to kill the Weaver, go ahead. I might have fired it off on the Unicorn just because we know we sided in those red cards. Also possible the Mist is just straight up on nothing. I didn't think that was the case. But who knows? It looks like Mac wants to go for blood. And there he goes. I guess what we're wanting to see from Mac's perspective is a chump block, and I have to imagine what we want to see from the Mist perspective is a land. I have no idea what he has now. I was completely sold that he has a removal spell. But if he didn't fire it off there, I don't know what you're planning to do with it, right? Like the Weaver of Blossoms is probably something you'd want to kill. Maybe he wants to kill the Dual Craft Trainer, and that's what Mac was banking on, is I can use the Weaver of Blossoms for the fight, because there's no way he doesn't kill the Dual Craft Trainer. Yeah, I'm going to have to switch over. I have to know what the Mist is thinking about this hard. He's got Sudden Breakthrough. He also had Midnight Ambush. Okay. He's going to eat the Unicorn or just trade with the Trainer? He's going to trade with the Trainer. Okay. We've hit a land. We can Gargantua and sacrifice. Okay, he did indeed switch into black-red. Sorry, I needed to see it from his side. Because there's really no cards left for Mac. Yeah, he's mana starved with a huge hand. And I think he just locked this down. Now, we know about the Smite. That's fine. But if he can hit one more land, he's fine. And if he can't, he can still ambush the Urnikern. And Falcon Wrath Aristocrats has impressed me every time I've seen one resolved. It's just a really solid limited card. Now, we know what that is from Mac. It's the Red Giant. But he's not going to be able to deploy it without some more lands. And I think the tables have turned heavily on the side of the Mist. He's trying to figure out what Foretell card this would be. Trying to decide if he needs to play around a Wrath. Which, I mean, is something worth thinking about. Like, how heavily do you want to play into this? I like the lines he's taking so far. He's not dead to a removal spell either, which is fine. Probably just want to fish creatures out, like in the blind. It's unlikely your opponent has a way to get things back out of the graveyard other than creatures. He's got a removal spell and a half in hand, we'll say. Necromancer says, play me, kill the Unicorn, and you can play it next turn, which is pretty cool. I think I'm swinging team here. There's kind of no reason to kill the Unicorn, though, is there? I think Mist has closed this one out. This was quite the matchup. Good play from both players. A lot of back and forth action. And a hell of a grind. But I don't see how Mag gets back into this. Probably not with a Null Hunter. Yeah, we know that card in hand is the Red Giant. So if I'm Mist here, I'm just killing the Unicorn, untapping and winning. He's got this 6 different ways. He just doesn't know what the Foretold card is. Very good gameplay by the Mist. Well done, sir. Well done. And good fight from Mac. What a match of magic. That was really fun to watch. Well, it looks like we've got our finals drawn up. It's going to be the Mist versus Timber Trannel. All right, we're about to launch into our finals where we have the Mist versus Trannel. We've seen both decks. It's time for them to battle it off. Chat is making fun of me because I just said I didn't understand why they hadn't sent me the list of what's up for Ante yet, but it doesn't matter because this is the last match. After this, we will have our victor. They will walk away with the 5,000 gems. Will it be the Mist? Will it be Trannel? We'll find out right now. Chat is currently predicting who they think will win. All right, it's finals time, boys and girls. 5,000 gems to the winner. A heartfelt good game to the loser. That's a rough opener for Timber. It doesn't have a lot to do early. It's got a conditional removal spell, but a Celebrance. This is tough. Okay, no worries. We'll just draw something. Play on turn 3. I can dig that. Orator a little off curve, but I don't think we're unhappy about it. Yeah, we can give the Orator flying and menace next turn, which is pretty threatening. So Geppetto doesn't put extra creatures on the field, he just buffs creatures that are summoned. So I'd look to see what got summoned, Meek, and you may find your answer to that question. Trannel is just curving out here with Orator, Valkyrie, Celebrance, a Flying Menace. This is quite the beatdown he is bringing. Meanwhile, we had a Turnt Timber Ascetic, the Giant Cleric from the Mist, come down and save some life. We may see another one off of that Mirror Lake just to try to get stable. I have a feeling that if this match lasts 15 minutes, Trannel wins, and if it lasts 30, Mist wins. That's not to say there's not power in Trannel's deck. There certainly is, but he's certainly the more aggressive of the two builds. Okay, we pass from the Mist, leaving it up to Trannel. And I imagine with Smite the Monstrous and Enthusiastic Study in hand, he just gonna swing and see what happens. It's certainly what I'd do. We got a double block, which I think is exactly what we were hoping for. That wasn't Geppetto summoning them. That was Princess Peep. It was a very good turn for Trannel here. Now, it's very likely that the Mist has a response, but the Ascetic is still going to be dead. Meanwhile, Trannel's still connecting in the air and still has Enthusiastic Study. If Mist taps out, he may just fire it off here to go fetch a lesson. He could also just be a little more patient and cycle through some lands. Oh, he doesn't have the mana to fire it off. Okay, he's going to infuse with Vitality, which is not bad here. That gives it Death Touch and returns it to the battlefield. And we've also got a Baleful Mastery for the Valkyrie, which doesn't throw the Orator on the ground, but it does put this board state a lot more manageable for the Mist. Trannel going to draw some cards functionally while discarding these lands. Fearless Liberator. There's a lot of dwarves potentially up in there. We've got the other giant coming down from the Mist, stabilizing him at 20 life when Trannel just doesn't have a board. I think this may be curtains for Trannel here. We suspect that that's a Sarolf's Packmate. We've seen it a couple times. Now, again, there is some power in Tranel's deck. He could draw it here. There's a good start. We don't have to worry about that giant. We can attack in. I fully expect the Mist to slam down the Gargantua, because why wouldn't he have it? But even worst case scenario, Mist can just copy the giant with the Liara Mirror Lake and be like, yo, you're in the same spot you were in before, and I'm up more life. That Mirror Lake has been very good for him in this series. Yeah, it's just, here's the same board state, but it's bigger now. Also, your creature's dead. You can see Tranel shaking his head. I think this one's done for. That said, he's at 20. He's got a little bit of time. Yeah, it's been really, really good for the Mist. He's basically splashing for it. And I've just repeatedly been impressed by the advantage he's been able to accrue and maintain from it. He can take 8. That's not the end of the world. Not surprised to see the Packmate come down. I would have, again, liked to play it pre-combat and see what we draw, because that might have changed what we're going to attack with, but... Burger Strider, locking down Adelaine, and this one just feels out of control. That's the way all the lands from that set were formatted. We could potentially get some value off of the Enthusiastic Study here, depending on how these blocks go. Which is probably about all that Tranel can go for here. Mist, cold, cool, and calculating as usual, thinking through all the iterations of these blocks. Likely suspecting a combat trick, as if all Tranel wanted was to make a dwarf token, he could have done that with the Wedding Invitation. So why does he want me to block? Does the 3 damage matter? We can use the study to get a spirit summoning, which we're probably not making this turn because we might just rather make a dwarf right now. Well, the blue cards in this deck were the Mirror Lake and the Berg Strider. This is a lot of damage coming in. That Mirror Lake has been so good. Roper for the Mist coming in to do the blocking duty. Said Courage, probably not what we're looking for here. Like, I don't think we're quite dead yet. Dead adjacent. If we block the 2 biggest things, we're taking in 5. And it looks like Tranel's had enough. We're going to the sideboard. Now, like I said, the power level is still here. This is kind of a Mardu's Flyer deck. There's a Vengeful Reaper still there. There's the Red Dragon, the Quartermaster, Pillar Drop Rescuer. There's some good value here. Now, I said he's the more aggressive of the 2 decks, and he is. but it's worth noting it's not like he's loaded with 2-drops. He's bringing in a Sunset Revelry and considering maybe stealing some creatures. Got like 3 ways to steal stuff if he wants them. Westgate Regent chilling in the size board. That had to have been a difficult decision to make as we're going through the deck builds. We're going with the price of loyalty. What flavor of treason would you like? Sparkling treason. It looks like he tuned this to be more aggressive between the last session and this one. Yeah, I might have been tempted to go for the black-white version here. Seeing those cards in the sideboard hurts me a little bit. Gonna have to make one more cut. Or I could run the 41 card special. I mean, I've been there. Not really. Never do that. We're going to trim a land. Okay. That's not crazy when you're going on the draw with an aggressive deck. But again, he's not running that many 2-drops. I think it's more aggressive than what the Mist is doing, but I don't know that I'd call it an aggro deck. Not a bad opener here. We've got the Valkyrie on 3. Pledge Mage if we hit another land. Red Dragon at the top end. Might the Monstrous. We know there's plenty of targets for that. Valkyrie is coming out to play. Does it immediately die? He did, nobody. I saw it. He added your anti-card. The Blood Crazed Socialite. It's in there. It was an alternate art version, but he has it. Okay, he's at least going to get to attack with it. This is good news for Trannel. Because if he's going to win, it's going to start like this. Now, the bad news is he didn't hit the lands. I think he would have liked to have been able to play the Silver Quill Pledge Mage here. What is the Mist sitting on? If he's got a removal spell and he's trying to see if Trannel's going to waste this Enthusiastic Study, that is incredibly... Oh, okay. He's got to draw Necromancer, but Trannel is having none of that. Kill the Necromancer. If you want to fire off Enthusiastic Study for damage, this is your turn to do it, and I might frankly do it. It gives you something to do for the next turn, and you're safe from the removal spells that the Mist has been so patient in previous matches. So I really like that sequencing by Trannel. Because the Valkyrie's going to die, but we got 7 damage off of it. Or is it? Classic red-white flyers just taking care of this. Yeah, I suspected that the Mist had that from the beginning, but he's ended up taking 9 damage by the time is all is said and done, and the Red Dragon is going to cut him down to 7. He's going to need another removal spell. Yeah, the Rescuer is going to bring back the Valkyrie, and we've got a lot of Air Force here. Now, that's going to help some. We're back up to 10. But the damage is still coming in the air. Trannel is electing to go for lethal next turn with the Spirit Summoning by giving the Pledge Mage flying. It's worth noting that the Rescuer fetching the Valkyrie back would have also been lethal, and I think I like that a little better personally, just because it uses your mana a little more efficiently. Unless he can cast both of them this turn with a land, which, okay, you got me. That makes a little sense. Secret lethal. His play worked out, though, if he hits a land. I can dig that. Ah, Witch's Web from the size board is going to leave us without lethal next turn. But we can get back the Valkyrie. We're now in a racing situation. And I mean, 12's a lot of damage to be taking here. If I miss, I might activate. Like, how insane is it to activate the eye and go for it? No, that doesn't work because we just chump block the 7/6 and then swing back. This is interesting combat math, and you can see how these games are just, they have to go faster than the sort of board stalling games we saw against Mac just a little bit ago. Yeah, you've got to swing back for 6. But now you can't swing back for 6. Because you're going to have to chump. Man, this has been some gameplay, y'all. Mist would be dead, but for the life he gained off of those clerics. And I think Tranel might have won this game if he'd had access to double white. Because imagine that Pledge Mage comes out just a turn earlier. I think that's going to do it. Game over, man. Very well played from both of our final competitors. But we have a winner, and it's the Mist. I'm going to award the prizes now, and I have decided we're going to give a prize to the Mist and a prize to Tranel for making it to second. Good job to both of you. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons. Paul, Punk, Hero, Joe, Jesse, Jacob, Scott, Basti, Rich, Michael, Brandon, John, and Jazzy. Thank you very much.